The 2016 movie Passengers tells the story of a gigantic spaceship called the Avalon that embarks on a journey designed to transport humans to a new planet. The ship is equipped with a hibernation technology that allows the passengers to remain in a state of prolonged sleep for approximately 120 years. The ship's approximately 5,000 passengers and 250 crew members will wake up when they reach the destination planet. One morning, however, one of the ship's hibernation pods accidentally wakes up 90 years early. The person in the capsule is an engineer named Jim Preston. Jim finds himself alone and hopeless because no one else has woken up. Jim saw a man in a bar, but it was an android man. The movie deals in depth with Jim's process of understanding the ship and his new situation, his loneliness and helplessness. After waking up, Jim couldn't do anything. He had fun, ate, drank, but after a year alone, he became depressed. "It can't go on like this," he said, and tried to kill himself, but he failed and gave up the idea. After a while, Jim decides to open another capsule inside the ship. In this capsule, a writer named Aurora Lane wakes up. Jim didn't tell Aurora the real situation at first, and she thought that Jim had woken up because of a mistake on the ship, just like her. And they met Jim and became lovers. The android knew everything, and Jim asked the android not to say anything to her about waking him up. But he accidentally told Aurora everything. That's Android. iOS wouldn't have done that. Aurora is deeply angered and saddened when she learns Jim's true intentions and how she herself is trapped in this terrible situation because of him. She then becomes so angry with Jim that she hits him where he sleeps. A complicated relationship develops between the two. At first, Aurora blames Jim and trust between them is shaken. Over time, however, the two become closer and the emotional bond between them strengthens. But suddenly, another mistake occurs in Avalon. Because of this error, the ship's captain wakes up. Jim and Aurora are overjoyed that they will be saved, but the captain dies. They investigate and find that the ship is energized, and if they can't release the energy, the whole ship will explode. Jim risks himself for the whole ship and goes to keep the door open. She releases the energy. Jim flies out of the ship, but she comes to his rescue. Later, Jim tells Aurora that he can put her back to sleep, but Aurora chooses to stay with Jim, and they grow old and die. 120 years later, the crew wakes up and sees what happened on the ship. Passengers is not only a love story, but also an in-depth science fiction movie that deals with many different themes, such as the human struggle with loneliness, ethical issues, artificial intelligence, and the challenges of space travel. The movie also explores the limits of human nature and ethical questions. The ethical and moral dimensions of Jim's decision to wake the Aurora deal with the conflict between one's own needs and the rights of others. This leads the characters to question their moral and ethical values.